So a few days ago, I put up a community post asking for your hot takes when it comes to Sonic and the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And I said that if I got enough responses, if I got enough hot takes, that I would make it into its own video. So you guys were gracious enough to pile me with a bunch of them. So I'm gonna be reacting to them and giving my thoughts on your hot takes on the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. So here we go. Jacob says, here's a few of mine. Sonic CD is one of the best 2D Sonic games. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. It introduced Amy, it introduced Metal Sonic. I love Sonic CD a lot, actually. And it's probably up there with my favorite 2D Sonic games as well. Sonic Adventure 2 is the most overrated Sonic game ever. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure where I sit on the fence with this one, because I think that Sonic Adventure 2 is honestly the GOAT. It's possibly the greatest Sonic game ever, and I don't think anything's gonna come close to that. Unless, like Sonic Adventure 3 happens, but that's just wishful thinking on my part. So I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. But I definitely see why you would say that, because a lot of people love Sonic Adventure 2, and I do think that it is overrated, but I still think that it's the best, if that makes sense. Number 3, Sonic Lost World actually has great level design. You know what? I actually agree with that. Sonic Lost World, while I don't really like it, it tried some new stuff, and I'm a fan of them trying new stuff. Not everything is gonna stick, but I commend them for that. Number 4, the Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing games, the first one and Transformed, are better than the Sonic Riders games. I don't know, I love Sonic Riders actually, but I kind of see the argument, because I played the All-Star Racing games, at least the first one. I didn't play the second one so much, but I played them a lot actually. I still have my PS3 copy of the first one right now, and I still play it from time to time, so I can agree with that. And lastly, the Werehog is Sonic's best transformation that's not supersonic or hypersonic. This I agree with, because I wasn't really a fan of the Werehog, but it's definitely Sonic's most iconic transformation outside of the outside of supersonic and hypersonic, because it is in Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic Unleashed, if not Sonic Adventure 2, is probably the most highly regarded game in the franchise. Everyone thought it was mid, and then it had a resurgence in popularity in the 2010s and stuff, and people began to realize that it's actually a good game, and people started to love it, and now it's at that point where everyone thinks it's the best in the franchise. So I agree with that. Lightspeed Dash says Sonic Colors is actually good. I like Sonic Colors. It's actually a really fun game. I like the colors, no pun intended. It's, how can I say, it's not to be taken too seriously, but it's a lot of light-hearted fun, and the gameplay is very imaginative, so I enjoy it. It's a fun time. It's a fun experience. Werehog is fun. It's overrated and misunderstood. I don't know if I like the Werehog gameplay, honestly. To me, the beat 'em up aspect, it is fun for a while, but to me it doesn't feel like Sonic, I feel like it would be better suited on another character. I think Frontiers got the combat perfectly, and I actually really, really, really dislike the platforming and the pacing of the Werehog stages. Sonic 06 sucks, and I have no idea why people are saying it's some hidden masterpiece. Yes, 100% agree on this. Sonic 06 is terrible. It's shit. It should have never been made. Like, I played it for like the first time in like April 2022 or something, and I was like determined to finish it just so that I can say I finished it. But like, there were points where I wanted to like rip my hair out because there's so many bugs and so many glitches. It's just unplayable, and I don't know how people can say such great things about it. Maybe they were exposed to Project 06, but you know, like that's not really a Sega and Sonic team thing, you know. That's fans. They made the game better. But the original Sonic 06 is absolutely abysmal. Shadow the Hedgehog is funny. Yeah, it's funny. It's pretty hilarious, actually. Love that game. Sonic Mania is boring. I don't know. I just don't think it's as fun as 1, 2, 3 CD. I don't know. I don't think I don't think Sonic Mania is boring. But maybe you find it boring because you have more nostalgia for 1, 2, 3 and CD. I could be wrong, but I think Mania is a good game and it's fun. Next, we got Rank Rodent, who says Shadow the Hedgehog 05 is one of the best games in the franchise. As much as I wanna agree with it because of how much I love Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm gonna have to say no on this one. And I played this game religiously. I love this game. It's a big part of my childhood. But it wasn't a good game. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure. Boost era is the worst era. You know what? I think there is some validity to this because I definitely think that the boost era, the boost system, at least in my experience, has made me a bit more lazier when playing Sonic games because all I want to do is boost and go really, really fast, you know? You know, like I don't put as much thought into it as I would for, let's say, the adventure games and for Sonic Heroes and Shadow, you know? So I definitely see your point there. I don't like boost era in that aspect. But I still think boost era is really fun because, again, you go really, really fast. Sonic is generally better the franchise than Mario. I'm not really a big Mario fan. I like Mario, but you know, like when they go head to head, you know, Sonic's my guy. Sonic is the thing that I gravitated more towards. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. I love Sonic more. 3D Sonic is much better than 3D Sonic is better than 2D Sonic. Now I'm saying this as someone who played more 3D games than 2D games growing up. I definitely did like 3D more. Maybe it's because it's something that I was more exposed to. But I can still find some fun in the 2D games. I prefer 3D Sonic more though, so I agree with this. But just from my point of view. Okay. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce your name. Goncalo Moledo. Here's a few. Sonic was always great. I agree. There was a few blunders here and there, but I don't think that it made the entire franchise bad. Like, I think there were some lazy and uninspired entries. There were some missed shots, but I think overall the franchise has always been good. Just there was, you know, mistakes were made. Sonic Forces is overhated. Sonic Forces is overhated. Sonic Forces is overhated. Nah, you know what? In fact, I disagree with this one. You know why? Because in fact, it's underhated. It deserves more hate. Lazy ass game. Sonic Forces is more fun to play than Sonic Mania. I'm starting to think that you're more of a 3D Sonic player than a 2D Sonic player, so I can see why you like Forces more than Mania. Sonic 06 is not such big of a mess like people say. Well, you know what? Maybe it's not such a big of a mess like people say, because you know why? It's an actual bigger mess, in fact. Lost World is only bad because people think of it as Lost World is only bad because people think of it like a Mario Galaxy ripoff. I mean, I can see the argument there, so I'm not gonna fight you on that one. I definitely see that. It didn't really look like a Sonic game, you know? It didn't have the same soul. The Werehog is way too cool and people should give it love instead of saying it's a Sonic furry. I almost started laughing at the last point, but I don't like the Werehog that much. I think it was cool for Sonic Unleashed, but I don't love Sonic Unleashed for the Werehog. I love it for the actual Sonic the Hedgehog stages, you know? Like, the Werehog is my only gripe with Sonic Unleashed, so I don't agree there. It's a damn furry. Okay, this is a long one from Alberto. Sonemi should be canon. No, I don't think Sonemi should be canon because I don't think relationships suit Sonic's like, Sonic is more of a free spirit. He's, how you say, he can't be tied down, if that makes sense. So I don't think a relationship would suit him. It doesn't suit his personality at all. Tails is the true protagonist of Sonic Adventure. I can definitely see that argument. Shadow is the true protagonist of Sonic 06. Definitely see that argument too. Like, Shadow was the best part and probably the only redeeming part of 06 for me personally. Sonic Prime is canon and has the best Sonic because he grows. I'm not gonna get into a debate about what's canon and what's not canon, but I definitely love Sonic Prime and it's a really fun series. So if you haven't watched it, go check that out as well. 5. Tails, Knuckles and Amy should be playable in all 3D games going forward. Now, I wouldn't say all games, but I definitely think that the playable roster of characters should be a bit more diverse. Like, I think what made the adventure games and Sonic Heroes so special, at least in my eyes, is that you could play as multiple different characters. So like, I don't think we should play as the same characters all games, but I definitely think they should shuffle the roster on each game. Silver and Blaze are wasted potential. They need a third member for their team. I don't think they need a third member, but I definitely think that there's more that they can do with Silver and Blaze. Hypersonic is overrated. I wouldn't say Hypersonic is overrated. In fact, I think Hypersonic is underrated and underused because we barely see him in the modern Sonic games. Knuckles is the big brother of Sonic and Tails. I definitely see that argument. He is the eldest of the three, and you know, like, I definitely got those vibes from him in Sonic Heroes when playing as him, you know, like he was the big tough guy, he was the strong guy, you know, the power type. So I definitely see that. All teams, Sonic Team and Team Rose, Dark, Chaotix are a family. Like, do you mean like all of them together or like the individual teams? I'm not too sure, but I guess I could see that argument. Each team is like its own family. Tangle is annoying. Not sure if I agree with that one because, you know, we don't see much of Tangle. Most villains suck. This I agree with. I think probably like the only good villain is probably Eggman. Mephiles was good, but he's from Sonic 06, so screw that game. Metal Sonic should... What? Metal Sonic should be Metal Sonic should be... Okay, sorry if I can't read your spelling. Metal Sonic should be his own character and not a puppet of Eggman. I mean, that's what we got in Sonic Heroes. They just haven't done much with him ever since. They should be a new main villain for this third era of Sonic games, but not replace Eggman as the main villain of the series. Yeah, like I definitely think that they need better villains because, as you said, most of the villains suck. And last but not least, Mephiles and Infinite will return in the comics or mainline games. I definitely want to see Mephiles return. Infinite, I think, is a terrible character, but they can probably redeem him if they really tried. So I wouldn't be close-minded to seeing them return. Okay, Kevin says... Okay, Kevin says, Sonic is my favorite video game hero ever since my early teens. I actually think he was mine since I was like, I want to say like 7 or 8, around that age. My favorite Sonic show is Sonic X, which also my favorite anime series. You know, I actually haven't really watched Sonic X properly. Like, I've watched a little bit of it, but I've been meaning to give it a try. And, you know, like, I've seen so much good things about it, but I'm debating whether to watch dub or sub, you know? Okay, number 3, because I'm a huge Sonic fan and the series itself, I came up with my own Sonic OC, Spike the Hedgehog. A 14-year-old anthropomorphic orange hedgehog who loves to rock for freedom, justice, peace, and unity. Despite having a crazy mohawk and spikes on his shoes, he is a good guy and only a good guy, so we're safe. I mean, that character sounds really cool. I think, is this him on your profile picture? If so, that's really cool. 4. My favorite Sonic characters are Sonic the Hedgehog, Miles Tails Prower, Knuckles the Echidna, Silver the Hedgehog, Spike the Hedgehog, Amy Rose, Cream the Rabbit, Blaze the Cat, Styx the Badger, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Rouge the Bat. Well, not to spoil anything for potential future videos, but my personal favorite character is Shadow. I mean, that's a no-brainer if you've kept up with everything going on. But these are a lot of cool characters that you like. 5. My favorite Sonic game is Sonic Advance 2. Solid choice. I really enjoy that game actually. And last but not least, ShadowGirl21 says, I have one, sorry being late for this post, no worries about that. I believe there's a hot take for Sonic that his favorite food are chili dogs. I have a feeling that he's so addicted to it where he may not stop eating them at each meal time. You know what's funny is that I don't think that, if I do recall, I think that the games weren't even originally responsible for Sonic liking chili dogs, and that was a thing that they started in the cartoons and then they later brought it into the games. So that's a cool thing that they did. And he definitely does eat a bunch of them, so like, how does he not, you know, like, get bloated or something, you know? But anyways, so those were your hot takes, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little... what can I call it? let's call it a bonding session, if you will. A bit of more interconnectivity between myself and you guys. So I hope you enjoyed me reacting to your Sonic hot takes. Stick around. Click the video on screen, like, subscribe. Peace out. Have a good day. Fuck, 20 minutes.